Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about text-to-speech avatar and custom avatar in Speech Playground. So when you click into text-to-speech avatar, the first thing you're going to see is a bunch of avatars. And these are the library avatars that Microsoft offers. So there's a ton of different avatars, like Harry Casual, Lisa, Graceful Standing. You've got, Meg Formal. There's a bunch of different avatars you can choose from. And one of them is probably going to catch your eye, and it's this one, Lisa Casual Standing, because it has this emotional tag on it, right? So what does that mean? So Microsoft is now offering the ability to add emotions in the text-to-speech to the avatars. So here you can see we have the languages English, United States, and then we have Jenny, and then you can actually add an emotion here. So you can do angry, cheerful, excited, friendly, hopeful, shouting, and unfriendly. So that's just a way to add a little bit of emotion to your speaking avatar, basically. So, when you're in here, you can play around with it a little bit. You can add, text. So like if I chose, Harry, right? I can write in here, hello, my name is Harry. I am an avatar and I am happy to meet you. So once you do that, if you scroll down, you can say generate video, and it'll just take a minute to generate the video. And then you can play it out and listen to it.
Hello, my name is Harry. I am an avatar and I am happy to meet you.
So I probably should have chosen a different voice, but you get the point. And then once your video is generated, it will show up here in this tab, generated video, and then you can actually download it, give it a name. You can download it in MP4, MOV, or WebM. And then of course you have to say, I acknowledge that, on exporting the video, I must disclose the synthetic nature of the text-to-speech avatar by using one of the following. And you can click into here and it'll show you the different disclosure patterns that you have to use. Okay, so the other thing is, so going back to the avatar tab, you can also add backgrounds, right? So I actually already uploaded a background. Actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose Lisa. I'm going to choose Lisa, and then I'm going to add a background. So I have this background that I uploaded. And boom, now Lisa is in a kitchen. So kind of cool. The other thing that I wanted to show you is, I just want to show you the emotional Lisa. So I can actually add, emotion onto this. So maybe I can add unfriendly. Let's try unfriendly. It's kind of a weird sentence to be unfriendly with, but let's try it out. Okay, so let's play it.
Hello, my name is Harry. I am an avatar and I am happy to meet you.
So you can see that not only does she sound angry, but her facial features are also angry. So that's kind of cool how you can do that. So this is actually where you can come and you can play around with the avatars that we have in the library. And then also I just wanted to show you this portion right here where it says view documentation. So if you click out to this, it'll take you to the documentation on text-to-speech avatar. I highly, highly recommend that you read all of this information before you attempt to use avatar either in the studio or as an API, and definitely read it for custom avatar. So basically what it does is it just goes through, what is text-to-speech avatar, what are the capabilities, the voice and language, what kind of output, and then it talks a little bit about custom speech avatar. It gives you some sample code. So just a heads up, there's two ways that you can output avatar is with batch synthesis, or you can do it with real time as well. So check those out, and then look at the pricing, of course. Make sure that you look at the available regions. These are the regions that are supported right now. Just make sure that you set this up in the region that is supported. Also very important, responsible AI. Make sure that you read the transparency notes and the disclosure for the voice and avatar talent. This is actually, if you do a custom avatar, it is actually a gated service. So you do have to apply to gain access to the service. And then if you come down, there's more information here that's really interesting. So content credentials is something where you can actually just verify that the Azure TTS Avatar generated your video content. And this is very important because it helps with tamper evident info, so that you can make sure that the video is authentic for your audiences. So definitely read through this, and it gives you some information. As you can see, you can check if the video has content credentials and how to use it in your solution and the limitations. And then here, once you get to a point where you want to actually synthesize the avatar, there's some information here on how to use text-to-speech avatar with real-time synthesis, how to set up your environment, how to manipulate your code, bunch of information. Same thing with batch as well. How to use batch synthesis. It gives you more information, how to recreate the request, and so on and so forth. And then also some of the batch synthesis properties as well. And then one thing that you should read through is there is the capability to do gestures with SSML. So make sure that you read through this thoroughly as well, because there are there's ways to do it, but there's also limitations. So you want to make sure that you know that. And then, if you plan to create a custom TTS avatar, or even if you don't, it's probably a good idea to read this. Click into this, and it will give you an overview of what custom text-to-speech avatar is, how it works, the component sequence, the locations, just a bunch of different information that you can check out. And then if you do decide to do a text-to-speech avatar, very important to read about how to record these video samples, because there are specific recording environments and background and lighting and equipment requirements that you should follow to make sure that you have really good video for your TTS avatar. And it gives you really good examples here, so it's quite clear. But yeah, if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll try and help you out with those. And then it talks about the gestures, right, and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. And then finally, once you've gotten all of your data recorded, then it tells you how to create a custom text-to-speech avatar, and it starts in Foundry, where you go into the fine-tuning tab, and then it takes you step by step through that, so you can get your own custom avatar. Okay, that's a lot of information, I know, but it's very important to read through it thoroughly. Just make sure that you check out all of this information before you get started, because you don't want to get started and then be like, oops, I missed that. That would be terrible. All right, so going back over here, if we flip over into custom avatar, this is the tab that was just being shown in that documentation. So I mentioned this before, that you do have to apply for limited access. So if you click out into this, it will take you to the application. And this is the same as when I talked about professional voice, because professional voice is also, or custom neural voice as it's also called, is also a gated service. So you need to come in here and you need to fill out all the information, first name, last name, all of that, what sub IDs you want to use, information about your company, and then down at the bottom it'll say, do you want custom neural voice pro, personal voice, or custom text-to-speech avatar? You'll click on custom text-to-speech avatar. It'll take you to the next page, and you'll fill out more information, like your use case and things like that. Okay, so that is the first step, right? And then it gives you an example of kind of the 4-step process: video recordings, train a custom avatar model, synthetic talking avatar, and then examples of ways that it can be used. You can also see an example of an avatar here, and it actually explains the use case, the training data that was used, the training time, the voice and the language, and also you can check out the pricing here again. And then it goes deeper into how to prepare your training data. So these are very important. You need to have the right equipment and environment. The appearance of the actor is also very important. The face needs to be clearly visible. It can't be obscured by hair. The accessories are a no-no, right? And then don't wear the same shirt that matches the background, right? Try not to wear stuff with logos or brand names. And then very important, the video recording format has to be MP4 or MOV, and then the resolution has to be 1920 by 1080, frame rate of 25 frames per second. And so there's more information down here which are the required. These are the required video clips to create a custom avatar. So you have to have a consent video. So the avatar talent has to actually say this verbal statement. And if you click out here, it'll take you out to the verbal statement so you can see what it says, and we have it in all different languages, right? But it's, like I, Deb Adeogba, am aware that video recording of my image and movements will be used by Microsoft to create blah, 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 blah. So make sure that your voice talent reads that, right? And then there's, different statuses, and you can read more in depth about this in the documentation that I showed you. But you want to make sure that, it's a natural position, front facing, minimal body movement. The actor can nod slightly, and it gives you an example too of what kind of it would look like. And then, naturally speaking, maximum 5 minutes, 30 minutes in total. At least one piece of 5-minute continuous video recording is required. And if it's multiple clips, keep each clip under 10 minutes. So make sure you read deeply into this. And then there needs to be a silent status, so you have to be in pose 0, which is like starting where you're neutral, right? Neutral phase. You can have a little smile or do a little nodding, but just make sure that the actor looks like they're waiting or listening or thinking. And then, if the other optional clips are, if your avatar is going to support gesture editing, you have to record some gestures per your scenario. And this gives a little bit of an example here. And then once again, just reminding you that this is a gated service, and it requires responsible use. And it shows, that Microsoft's committed to responsible AI. And then, so more stuff on that. Apply for limited access. You can hit the form here too. Disclosure for your talent. Make sure your talent understands the technology that's being used. And then obtain permission from the avatar talent to use their image and their voice, to create these avatar models. And then disclosure solution, to make sure you're maintaining trust with your customers. You want to be, transparent about, the synthetic nature of this avatar. And then, this gives another quick, 6-step here. Apply for access, design avatar, consent, prepare training data, train model, integrate. And for each of these, it has a little click out so that you can go and read more about that. So this is a good start. The best place to get started here is really in Speech Playground in Foundry. So, first step, go to Foundry. I would say play around with the text-to-speech avatar library avatars and just, see how they move, how they work, put your own text in there, check out the different emotional styles. And then, read the documentation. Very important, read the documentation. And then, make sure that you have a plan to create a custom avatar, how you're going to record, where you're going to record, so on and so forth. Get disclosure. Just make sure that the talent is on board, basically. So that's a quick overview of TTS Avatar, and I'm interested in knowing what kind of questions you guys have, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. And that's it. That's it for today. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.